Welcome to episode 6 of Peak Connections. I'm your co-host, Vishal.
And I am Paul.
And today we're joined by...
Hiro?
That's right.
Yes, we have Hiro in the studio today. And I'd like to address our absence in the past few weeks. As we get closer to the holidays, I think our episodes will be more infrequent. Hopefully that's not the case, but schedule.
Paul's making
happen.
excuses. It was all his fault. All right.
Yeah, but I would like to thank everyone for their fan mail.
Mm-hmm.
It was very nice to read, and to our casual viewers, welcome back, and to our subscribers, we missed you. It's good to see you guys again.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump right into it. So, Hiro, how do we know you? How do you know us?
Through Vanessa, I guess.
Who is Vanessa to you?
Girlfriend?
Oh wow,
Was that a question?
it's pretty official. It's kind of embarrassing.
How long have you known Vanessa?
Since sophomore year of college.
Oh,
Wow.
so what is that, like
It was like 2017.
2017?
Did you guys start dating
2016.
immediately?
No.
How long were you guys friends before you guys started dating?
We started interacting the spring semester of sophomore year.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got closer like throughout the summer, and then we started dating in the fall.
Were you guys just texting, or were you both on campus?
We were both on campus. I was taking summer classes, and she might have been as well. She was working at Kung Fu Tea, the campus location.
Damn, that's pretty hot. Dating the boba girl. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you know when you first met her you were gonna date her?
No?
No.
Did you?
I kind of got like an inkling.
This is while you were still dating another person?
I said an inkling. I was
Okay.
like, it wouldn't be so far fetched if something happened.
Whoa.
No, I feel like I don't normally think that far in advance, usually.
Okay, so you don't differentiate like, oh, this is like partner material. This is only friend. It's like they all start at friend.
I guess.
Mm.
I guess, well, I mean, yeah.
Would you say you're good at flirting?
No.
No. Then
Would
how?
you?
Not like on purpose.
I don't think I'm great at flirting.
Here's got the accidental riz.
Oh yeah. Yeah. What's your approach? Do you like tease them, or do you share memes, or what do you do?
I guess just casual jokes about interests. I don't know.
Or like, hey, you want to grab boba? Something like that.
No, I don't think I've ever really like went on like a real date, like before like knowing the person.
Before dating, you don't go on a date.
So I guess it's like in the context of like you get to know a person before taking them on a
Yeah,
date rather than
generally, I would
taking them on a
just-
date
yeah.
to get to know
I
someone.
get to
Okay.
know someone first,
Gotcha.
just through interaction, like as friends, I guess.
Have you guys ever done the, like, you're in college, you're going to a dining hall with a girl, and to get in, you have to swipe, right? And, like, you stop
Swipe.
her.
Swipe for her?
Yeah, you stop her, and you're like, no, this one's on me, and you swipe your card.
No, I don't think I have.
No. The closest thing I got to that was like, you know how, so like our freshman year, I think our like whatever like lunch meal currency was,
Yeah.
it was like more expensive if you like paid with cash versus
Yeah.
with the meal plan.
Yes.
So I would just like make money off my meal plan because I had like leftover money. So like I think like the cost for them to swipe in was like $10, and the cost for me to swipe was $5. And I was like, you give me $7 and I'll call it a score.
Dude, no one wanted to eat dorm food.
Really?
for
I feel
me.
like our dorm food was like decent.
It was all right.
Yeah.
No. Well, we had 7 different dorms and 7 different dining halls.
Oh.
The one I was in was for like engineering nerds, and the food was not good at all. It was horrible.
Y'all had specific dining halls for each or most of the like big majors?
Yeah. Or not majors, but just like each dorm had their own dining hall, and they all had like a different theme. So there was one that was a specifically Asian theme that was pretty popular because they had like a stir fry station. Yeah. For us, it was like wings.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah, but okay, that's cool. You guys have been dating for a while now.
Like what, 6-7 years?
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Time's ticking, man.
Well, how much did she pay you? But yeah, okay. So obviously, call back. We know Vanessa because I worked with her, and then your wife Ruth also worked with her.
That's right. Yeah, and I think we've always seen shadows of Hiro. Like Vanessa's like, oh yeah, Hiro's picking me up, and then we see like the white car pull up, and she gets in, and then maybe we see like the shadow of Hiro in the driver's seat.
Yeah, I think I remember the first time I heard. I feel like this is something interesting. I don't know what your take on it is, but like, if you meet somebody, like if you're like just your coworkers or something, right, and they're like talking about their partner, do they like preface by saying like my boyfriend or my girlfriend XYZ? Because I remember the first time I heard of Hiro, Vanessa just says, "I'm going to like this EDM concert with Hiro," and I was just like, "Who's Hiro?"
I say it once to introduce. And then I just stick to the name. I think it's tacky to always be like my girlfriend, my wife.
But at least a preface, you know?
Yeah, like an introduction.
So
How about
Hiro's
you,
always
Hiro?
just been Hiro.
How do you introduce Vanessa to people?
I think generally just like, yeah, I'm a girlfriend.
Oh, you don't say her name. You say like, oh,
Like
I'm
the
getting
first
lunch.
time, yeah. And then I guess over time they'll realize her name's Vanessa.
Okay, so there's a transition.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, shadows of Hiro.
Yeah.
Like you see him drop Vanessa off, and then he like skirts away.
When did you first see Hiro's face?
First see Hiro's face?
Yeah.
Probably when I went to your place.
Yeah. So I'd hosted something. I remember we went to like Midtown, and I just remember thinking that Hiro seemed so bored the whole night.
That's your first impression of Hiro? Like Hiro looks bored.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure it's because he was bored.
I didn't know anyone there.
Yeah.
That's fair.
It was like a fair reason to be bored.
That's true.
I was like, dang.
Yeah, I don't know why, but my first interaction with Vanessa was like we went out to the Midtown bars.
Was that also at my place?
Yeah, that was
Okay.
That was one of your parties, but yeah, like Vanessa, she dropped it hard, you know, like. Jeez, and I assumed that her boyfriend would be like of similar caliber.
Oh, like in terms of like wild.
Yeah, like my idea of Vanessa was like, oh, this is a wild girl. like she probably has like you know that wild boy like holding her down or something. So when I went to Friendsgiving at their apartment, there were already like multiple guests there. And Hiro was probably the last person I thought.
Okay. Huh. I don't know. I feel like I didn't have that first impression of Vanessa because I had worked with her, obviously, and you can only be so wild at your 9 to 5. But I don't know. I don't think I had like any preconceived notion in my mind of who Hiro was. I definitely didn't think he was gonna be as good at climbing as he was. But
that did catch me off guard as well. Yeah. Hiro is the best climber out of all of us.
Yeah, that's true. How do you feel about that?
I would say like barely.
No.
I've fallen very far behind.
I'd say every day you get further ahead.
I don't know. I feel like it's been a while since gained any improvements.
Yeah, I plateaued as well, and I think it kills your motivation a little bit.
Yeah. That means it's time to hit the gym.
Yeah. It's all about power.
Yeah. What's technique, right?
Yeah. Wait, so you know, when you tell your friends about Vanessa and they meet her finally, do they tell you like she's exactly what I pictured, or are they surprised?
Indifferent? I don't know.
They're indifferent?
Do you think you go into meeting people with expectations?
I think I try to like mold what they look like in my head before I meet them. You know, like, but it rarely works. The only time it did work was Newton. Like Ruth would describe Newton to me, and I pictured him, and I met him, and I was like, "You are what I imagined. You are what I fantasized about."
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
No, I guess I try to do that, but only like when I hear people's voices. You know, like when you hear someone's voices, like you're sitting down in like a restaurant and you hear someone like talking behind you, and you like form this picture of who they are. But that's different, I guess.
Do you guys think like there's an attractive person, you know, like they're good looking or they're beautiful, and they start talking, and their voice is just not it. Like you are not having it. Does that shatter their attractiveness?
I don't think I've ever met someone where I was like, their voice is so horrible.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe like in shows or something.
Yeah, like just in shows. I think that's like very fictionalized.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. But so Hiro, tell us what do you do nowadays?
I'm in physical therapy school. That takes up most of my time.
How far into physical therapy school are you now?
It's my second of 3 years,
Second of 3 years.
but it's honestly pretty close. It's probably only a year left, technically, once.
Is that whole year clinicals, or do you have more classes?
In the spring, we have classes, but then pretty much after that, I would say like 75% of the remaining time is clinicals.
Is there like a residency period after graduating, like med students, or?
You can choose to do a residency after, but that's not like a requirement or anything.
Okay, so straight into the workforce you go. Are you excited for that?
Yes and no. Because I'm in my first clinical right now, and just from the pace of it, I'm pretty exhausted afterwards. So not looking forward to just being in the workforce all week.
I used to think it was a stamina thing. Like
Working like 40 hours?
Yeah, like when you first start, like maybe you're not so used to it, so you get tired easily. And over time it gets better, but no, it does not. I think
It gets a little bit better, but it's like conditioning in a way. Like I don't think it's better because, well, I guess conditioning can have two meanings there, but like I don't think it gets better because you get used to it. I think you just get trained that this is what life is like, and then you complain less.
there's nothing worse than going to sleep on Sunday night
At like 9 p.m. or
knowing what awaits me Monday morning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But that makes the Mondays off so much better.
I guess. But you're just delaying the pain.
Yeah, but at least there's value to a weekend. Like I don't know what I would do if I just like had every day be a weekend.
I challenge you to find some hobbies.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Okay, so PT school. So what does a physical therapist do?
That's a great question. I guess in general, just rehabilitating a person back from their injuries, back to what their prior level of activity or function was beforehand. That's the ideal.
Gotcha. So so you build out like a almost like a workout routine for them?
Depends on what type of setting you're in, but yeah, I guess generally what you think of a physical therapist is patient comes in with their condition, and you kind of like analyze it, understand what's limiting them, and then work on exercises or techniques that will help get them stronger, improve range of motion, mobility, getting them back to being able to move again.
So in some of the videos of physical therapists that I've seen, like it's usually a very hands-on process. Is that something that you have to get comfortable with, like touching your patients?
I think so, yeah. I mean, it's not every session that you're going to be doing hands-on stuff with them, but for the most part, yeah, I would say you would have to be pretty familiar with touching their body.
Yeah. How's your touch barrier?
Oh,
Like, do you feel uncomfortable when someone touches you, or like taps your shoulder, or like
I wouldn't say no. Yeah, no.
Okay, gotcha. I know some people, they have a very visceral like reaction
To
They-
like random people touching them.
yeah, or they just don't enjoy being touched by anyone, like
Mm.
friends. It just makes them uncomfortable. Yeah. How about you, Vishal?
No, I don't. I mean, if it's a stranger, I think it's different than someone I know. Like, and also there's like levels of friendship where I would be like, that's weird. Like, don't touch me. You know what I mean? But it's not like I have like an aversion to. Like it's like if a random person came and like grabbed your shoulders, you wouldn't be like weirded out by that.
It catches me off guard, just because for a long time it was like COVID, and I feel like nowadays people are very cautious about invading
Personal
someone's
space.
like personal space. So when someone like taps me on the shoulder, it does catch me off guard sometimes. It's an unusual feeling that I'm not used to.
Mm-hmm.
But something I was thinking about today is like, what is the appropriate way to hug a fellow male friend?
What do you mean? It's standard.
What is standard?
You go for this, and then you grab the arm, and then it's the one hand pat.
That I do that instinctually, but I was just wondering, like, what if
It comes in your handbook when you're born. You didn't read that?
Yeah, I was just wondering, like, there's technically like you can either go up, like around their neck,
Nah.
Around
or
their neck.
yeah,
Oh.
or like around their shoulders, which is just straight up, or like around their waist,
No,
which
no.
you go below.
See, let me explain. There's like a couple options you have here, right? It's the one high, one low, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's where you go in like diagonally with somebody.
Oh,
Okay, that's one of your options.
so
The
like
second,
this?
yeah, like one person goes like
actually,
that.
no, you're
one
right.
person
Yeah,
goes.
that is how I
yeah.
hug my
Yeah.
friends. Yeah.
Then the other is like the one that you go from like
You
a
dab
handshake
and then-
into a pat,
Gotcha.
and then like the third option is just go for the knuckle bump. You don't even go for the hug, depending on your level of closeness.
Is
with
that the
them.
same for you, Hiro? Is that how you usually hug your male friends?
I feel like I typically just gauge the other person's.
Whatever they're going in for?
Yeah.
You just like match it.
So if I like went for around the neck, you would also mirror.
He'd punch you in the stomach.
That's what he means by matching. Okay, here's a challenge then.
Yeah.
How would you hug a female friend?
It depends. I feel like there's the easy side hug. Right?
Oh, side hug is safe.
Yeah, the side hug is like very like we're friends. Also, it matters how many like pats on the back there are. That's how you can judge whether or not you're friends.
Is it more pats is more intimate or
More
less?
pats is more friend.
Oh, more friend.
Yeah,
So if you just do like 0 pats,
that's
like intimate.
Would you agree?
I guess.
Hero seal of approval. I don't know. Yeah, other than that, it's like, I guess it's more gauging it. Also, I feel like with guys, like there's less height disparity most of the time. So it's like easier to engage. If someone is like a lot shorter than you only have so many options. You can't go like fully crouched over. You know what I mean?
How long should you linger?
What is your desired outcome?
I mean, these are friends, so to minimize discomfort.
Well, see, that's the use of the pat. The pat is like, okay, it's done now.
Oh, okay. I see. Man, you've broken this down.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes you gotta think about these things. There is no handbook after all.
Yeah, I'm not a hugger.
No, like so if someone went in for a hug, do you like
No, I no,
grab their hand and shake it?
I reciprocate.
But you would never go in for a hug.
Like you'll never see me initiated.
Yeah, you've never hugged me in all of our time as friends.
So intimate, hugging someone. Like
I think it just kind of depends on your level of touch, like kind of what you were saying before.
Like I'm just maybe I'm stuck in middle school where like holding hands was like first base and hugging was like second base.
Sure. Interesting. Is that like the first thing you thought of when you thought of like Hiro's PT school? He's like, oh, he's gonna have to touch people. I bet he's uncomfortable with that.
No, I was just wondering because like, you work with so many different parts of their body. Like, I was just like, man, like on a day to day, like how often do I touch people? Zero, like very little.
I mean, I will say in school we're taught to like ask for permission, especially with like more techniques that are like more intimate, I guess. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, I'm not, I wasn't concerned about the consent part. I was just concerned about the, like, I don't enjoy touching people, but I have to because it's my job kind of aspect.
Interesting. Wait, is your asking for consent so that you don't get sued, or is it for comfort?
no, it's more for like the person's level of trust. I mean, you don't want to just go in and like.
Well, like I know for like CPR, you like have to like you first have to like ask them if they're okay, and then you have to like ask for permission to like help them. And
What if
unless
they're
like
unconscious?
yeah, that's the only situation in which there can be implied. Like,
Well, I guess usually if they're not unconscious, you don't really need to do CPR.
well, yeah, or even like any other like any first response techniques, right? Like if you're like doing a Heimlich on somebody, you're still supposed to go like, "You okay?"
Are both of you guys CPR trained?
I was CPR trained throughout high school because I was a lifeguard.
Yeah, we have to maintain our certification.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not, but if you guys came across someone unconscious and they had a do not resuscitate tattoo.
A tattoo?
Or isn't that how it usually is?
Usually it's like a DNR is like on their like identification. Like if you go to their medical records, you could see a DNR. I don't think people just like have it
All right,
on
so
them.
it's within the hospital.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think
Just get tattooed on your chest. Okay, my idea of what DNR was very flawed. I thought a tattoo would cut it.
No, but yeah, I guess like if you know that they have a DNR though, you're not allowed to. But you can like play ignorant. Hey, medical law is a practice for a reason.
Yeah. Hiro, sorry to get back. What is a stereotypical PT like character?
Like
who is the NPC of physical
Like,
therapy?
Just to give an example, when I think a med student, I think jaded, like dark sense of humor.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like they've seen it all, like they've seen a lot of crappy things, or they've had to like endure a lot of crappy things, like long hours and lots of tests. So
see, for me, my opinion of like the NPC medical student is like the person who makes TikToks about their medical school journey, and then it always starts with them getting like a cup of Starbucks in the morning, and then they have like the thing where they break their day by day.
no,
and
that's
they're, like,
a consultant.
10 to 2, I study. Like 2 to 4, I study more.
No, that's a consultant NPC.
No way.
A day in the life of a consultant.
Okay, well that would be even more depressing, but
Yeah. Yeah. So any ideas on that?
I guess I don't know, like really fit person. I don't know.
Yeah.
that goes back into, so you had some preconceived notions about Hiro.
Yeah. Yeah.
What did you think he was going to be when Vanessa explained him to you?
Well,
Explain.
Hiro's whole existence was confusing to me initially, and Vanessa didn't help at all because she first said, oh, my boyfriend Hiro. Which first question is, oh, is he Japanese? To which she's like, no, he's Taiwanese. Which honestly creates more questions, which she doesn't really answer. Which she doesn't have the answers to,
Okay.
So, and then it's like, oh, what does he do? She's like, oh, he's a PT student. And I thought personal trainer. Yeah, because personal trainers have to get certified, so I thought they'd go to school or something. Yeah, I thought it was for like those very luxurious country clubs. Like there's maybe a 2-3 year program for it. Yeah. So all my questions were based off that assumption, and my questions to Vanessa were like, oh, is he fit? Or like, is he muscular? She's like, no, he's kind of kind of slim, kind of skinny, like you. And so I was like, oh, interesting. You know, I would think like your clients would want to see like a fit PT person. And she's like, no, not really. And so, you know, she's not helping very much.
Your image.
Yeah, she's not guiding me very much in this
I
conversation.
just imagine with all of the information you had, you walked into that Friendsgiving expecting to see like this jacked dude who was wild.
Yeah. Like I thought he'd be like her equivalent of what a rave bay would be.
So you thought Hiro was gonna be out here just like a full ABB like F boy.
I definitely did not expect him to be as quiet as he was. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Hiro, would you consider yourself a pretty quiet person?
Yeah, I would say so.
Do you think you're intentionally quiet, or do you like being quiet, or do you like wish that you weren't quiet ever?
What was the first option?
What was the first question?
I mean, do you ever feel like you're too shy, maybe, or do you ever feel like I should step out of my comfort
I
zone?
feel like quiet and shy are a little bit different, right?
Okay, yeah. Do you ever think like maybe I should talk more?
I feel like I will if like the situation arises, but typically I'm just introspective.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if like the situation arises where I need to be more like open, I'll do it.
You know, one of the topics I've seen Hiro passionate about, that's not climbing, is football.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like Hiro consumes a lot of football, like hours,
Okay.
right?
Yeah. Well, he's in a
Sure.
fantasy league, right?
Yeah, that's mostly it.
But you liked football, so you joined the fantasy, right? Not the other way around. You joined fantasy and then you became a football fan.
Probably more the other way around. Was in a fantasy league, so then I started getting more into football.
Okay.
It's the pipeline.
Is it?
Yeah, your friends watch football, so they create a fantasy league, and then you've got FOMO, so you've got to join the fantasy league,
Oh.
and then you can't lose the fantasy league because then that'd be embarrassing. So you have to learn football.
I've never had a desire to join a fantasy
Yeah,
league.
neither have I.
Yeah, so I don't understand how that dynamic works.
I feel like it's more of a gambling issue, though.
Oh,
Are you predisposed to gambling?
No, but in our fantasy leagues, there's usually like a pot that we're trying to win. So
do you
Gotta-
usually win?
you gotta try to win. I won my first one,
Oh, that's how he got hooked.
Oh yeah.
and then the second one I was like top 3, so I still won some, or at least I got my what I paid in back. So
How big is the, I guess, buy-in, the pot, whatever?
usually if it's like a more chill league, it's probably like $5 or $10. But the main league I'm in, we upped it up to 50 this year.
Ooh, how many people?
10 people.
Not bad.
Do you ever have like a loser punishment?
No.
Dang.
But I thought that was the
No.
main point.
Yeah. It just depends on the league, I guess.
Yeah. What's the most creative punishment you've seen or you've heard about?
Heard about? I don't know. Usually involves like something active and naked, probably.
Yeah. Yeah. Not fun. Have you ever participated in like a bet with a punishment?
I don't think so.
Like, have you ever bet your pride on anything?
Well, I mean, when you drink in college, like you get the occasional like arm wrestling. Yeah, something like that. But yeah, I'm surprised I never did anything major with like punishments, because that sounds like it'd totally be up my alley.
So I had some interesting friends in college, and one of the games they made, maybe one day we'll play it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a variant of poker where you're basically betting chips. Okay, so
Like
imagine everyone
potato chips or-
like their own, like there's their own chips, right? Like let's say there's 4 people playing.
Okay.
Like you'd have your Paul chips, he'd have his Hiro chips,
Okay.
I'd have my chips to start with.
Okay.
So you like wager, you play the game normally. But if you have someone else's chips, it's like you can cash in 2 to make them like, you know, like a truth, or you can cash in like 10 and they have to do anything you make them do.
That's interesting.
No, that sounds pretty cool. Yeah, I was gonna say like I guess I did play something like this, and like we're playing like Cards of Humanity.
Yeah.
But it was like the milder version, the apple.
Apples to apples.
Yeah, apples to apples. And the punishment for that was like we made one of my friends play Monopoly without any dice. Yeah.
So he just had it go the whole time.
No. So like, it's always up to the person to like determine what they want to do. Mm-hmm. And his solution was like he just had make believe dice. He just like rolled air, and he's like, "Oh, 12, yeah." And he's just like, and we just made him go like one whole round by himself.
So you just filmed him like Monopoly
yeah,
by himself.
Exactly, with no dice.
Interesting.
Yeah, but that poker idea, I like it.
Yeah.
We should try it.
Should we do it this Saturday?
Oh, we could. It gets hard when there's a lot of people.
25 people. That's insane.
But we can definitely figure this out. Oh man, I'm getting like flashbacks. One time we were at our friend's place. The bet was that she had to catch a duck. We lived on like in Katy there's like lakes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And there just like occasionally be ducks. And there
Are
was
they
a duck
ducks
in,
or are they?
there was like a duck in her
geese?
backyard.
Okay, there's ducks.
Yeah. It's like go catch it. And she just had to run around trying to catch
Did she
a
get
duck.
it?
No. So they made her do another punishment. They said eat a tissue paper, like eat a Kleenex.
Yeah.
And then she ate the Kleenex.
Yeah.
Have you had any bad losses?
Bad losses? No, I just learned how to play poker better. Yeah. It's funny though, like when you learn how to play poker, a lot of the things they'll teach you is like they'll teach you like how to bet the odds, right? Like they'll make you play like a numbers game in terms of like the value of the money you're betting. But you find out like the value of money gets a lot harder when the chips are like not monetary. So figuring out like when people are like yeah, because like right, there's like the concept of pot betting or like 3 betting, right? Like depending on the pot size. So you can wager you can assess someone's, at least the hand they're representing, by the amount of money they put in, right?
Sure.
There's like theories on poker for this. So it's easier to place people's hands when there's monetary value because there's like, oh, it makes this much sense to put this much more money in the pot because I'll get this money in return. Mm-hmm. But when you change the game and you're wagering your pride, it gets a lot harder.
Interesting. Yeah, I like the idea though. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. It's certainly something. But then obviously you'd get the people who are like, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah. I mean, Hiro. So I guess we know you like climbing. We know you like football. What's something you could talk an hour about? Like if we said, "Hey, Hiro, make a presentation," or give us a lecture, and it's just 1 hour of you talking about a topic. What would you make it about?
That's a really hard question. Because I feel like I have a lot of general knowledge, but not a lot of in-depth knowledge. So it's really hard for me to go really in-depth about topics. But I'll generally not understand like what people are talking about.
So you can keep up with yeah, I get that. Like, I mean, to be fair, I feel like there's probably things you could talk for an hour about, but it's not something you'd want to talk for an hour about, right? Like you could just like divulge the entire knowledge of physical therapy to us, but like whether or not that's something you'd want to do or not.
I don't know. I feel like my recall is also really bad. I know I have the information in me. It's just really hard for me to articulate it.
Are you a good test taker?
Like multiple choice or yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
I would say in general, yeah, I'm a pretty good test taker.
I think the subject matters.
Yeah.
Because like bio, that's very memorization heavy.
I suck at memorization.
I do too.
But if it's something I can figure out on the test, I'm pretty good at it.
Yeah, which is why engineering was pretty decent for me because you can memorize all you want. But if you don't understand how to apply the concept, you will never get through the test.
Yeah, that's the only thing that kept me afloat.
Yeah.
comparatively.
You know, going through engineering school,
Uh-huh.
I told myself like I would never go back to school, and definitely not like a science thing, because I knew like I was really bad at memorization.
Uh-huh.
But going through PT school now, I feel like I've really learned what, in terms of like content, what the professor's going to ask. So I feel like that gives me an edge up in test taking.
Yeah, that was probably like the biggest thing for me in school, that things like it'd be like clockwork. Like while I was listening to lecture, I would only take notes of the things I knew that the professor would ask questions about. Like all the random BS that they like use to like fill their lecture time. I was just like, ooh, ooh. Telling us about your story. That's cool. Yeah, I don't need to know that.
Yeah.
But then like there's always this one thing, and they'll like phrase it in a certain way. You're like, I know they're gonna ask a question about this, and it just like makes stars in my margin every time.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never did anything like that?
I'm thinking, what, memorization?
Or like, I guess like predict questions.
Predict questions? Yeah, I mean, I also, had resources like old tests, and you kind of understand.
Cheater.
Is it? Is it? The professors are always welcome to change it up. They're lazy. Yeah.
You didn't have access to the tests?
No, I
course
had
he did.
resources. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like I didn't lean on them too heavily.
When y'all took notes in college, did you write them or did you use the laptop?
I'd always only write.
Me too.
A lot of my professors didn't even allow us to bring laptops into our classroom.
I'm a boomer.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. I feel like it was better because the tests are on paper.
Yeah.
So like, even like our coding classes, we'd have to do them on paper because we'd have to write code.
I guess
paper.
engineering is more like math based, so we have to
Yeah.
write questions.
Yeah, and you have to like draw diagrams and all that stuff.
Yeah, if it was like studying, like I guess like for things like, well, even for what you do, I feel like writing is still helpful because like I really commit things to memory when I write versus when I type, especially because I take like a lot of shortcuts when I type. Like I'll use like software that'll like autocomplete words if I'm like using them repetitively or stuff like that. Like if I'm just trying to take notes to take notes.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, for studying, I think pen and paper has always helped me.
Yeah.
But yeah, pivoting from like engineering to, I guess, another science. Was it like what you expected? Was it welcoming? Was it not welcoming? Was there ever like a point in time where you're like, oh, maybe I made a mistake?
No, I felt like generally I like physical therapy. There were a couple classes that we had where it definitely helped to be like a kinesiology or exercise testing major. But no, I felt like with an engineering background, you are pretty able to go into whatever you'd want to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
You think PT's your true calling, from what you've learned so far?
I don't know about true calling, but it's something I'm interested in. So
Yeah, it's hard. That's a pretty strong pivot,
Yeah. I mean, you're one to talk about true calling, though, right? You're the one who separates your fulfillment and work from the rest of your life.
Oh yeah. I try not to bring work home.
Do you think there is a true calling for you?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
I like to think about retirement a lot.
So your true calling is making money.
No. It's the true calling would be like, even when you retire, like what would you do with that money? Right?
Uh-huh.
And I think I would like to think I would travel.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I would. I'm just not that adventurous. I traveled a lot as a kid, and I think I'm like all traveled out for now. But like for example, if I do travel, I'd rather go to like a resort rather than like explore a city.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. But in that regard, I think I'd like to pick up cooking. I think if I had like all the money in the world, I'd just buy like very expensive and very rare ingredients to try something new.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you're telling me you wouldn't just like go and spend like $70,000 on another wedding or something like that?
$70,000 on a wedding?
It sounds like
Oh.
it sounds like you want to go for the splurge and rebuild lifestyle.
I also like whenever I see a nice car on the road,
Uh-huh.
I think to myself like, man, I would like a nice car. Like I would love to pick up my friends who visit from out of town.
Your 2-door car without a trunk.
Yeah, just like yeah, but I would just like to pull up with like a nice sounding engine. But I know, knowing myself, I could never. It's like burning money.
Like just cars or like luxury things in general?
Both.
Oh.
Luxury cars being like the double whammy. Yeah, it's like burning money and then also like pissing on it. I don't know. Like burning it and then pissing to like put the fire out. Yeah. So now you can't use it and you definitely wouldn't touch it. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like I think I just get more into the finer things of life. I think they call it lifestyle creep, where the more you make, the nicer things you get.
Yeah, and I think it goes back. Like I think at this point in time, I wouldn't even like. I don't even care about having a nice car. Like I think I'm like very content.
What's a nice thing you'd like to have?
A nice thing. I'd
Yeah,
like to
like
have.
I know some guys, they're like really into watches. I'm not an accessory guy.
Oh, I don't think I have anything like that. I mean, I think the most it would be is like I'd really want like a nice house or like a nice apartment. Like I think ideally the condo lifestyle seems like pretty cool. Like if you have like a really luxurious condo.
I'm actually more into condos
Yeah.
than single family homes.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, Ruth doesn't understand me at all.
Wait, why?
I just like the idea of like this
It's
like
cozy.
this like modern space that overlooks like a beautiful view.
Yeah, like a city.
Is that what a condo is? I thought a condo was basically like an apartment.
It is.
It's an apartment that you own, but it's generally like in the city, and it's generally like overlooking. Like it's usually
so
like
a better
downtownish.
area or
Yeah.
a better environment.
Condo is like a gated like community almost. It's never just like one single apartment.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
a cluster, plus like they have their own pool and like workout room. But yeah, apartment, condo, it's essentially the same thing. If you picture an apartment, that's probably what a condo is anyway. But yeah, I envision like this like beautiful penthouse view. Whereas like a single family home, it's like if something breaks every damn day.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like, okay, gotta go change the water heater again.
Yeah, like the roof. It's been 20 years. Time to swap it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. What about you?
I'd like a really nice speaker surround system.
Oh.
Well, I
it.
totally
I can
see
see it.
why. Of course. Yeah.
So you want like a man cave with like all your like
Not even like a man cave, just something for audio.
okay, just like in the living room?
Yeah,
Like
wherever I-
subwoofers,
Like
like
Well-
like the shower also.
what?
Just wherever I am the most. But I mean, I feel like you could do the whole house because I feel like the house my family used to be in, it did have like speakers like in
Oh
laid
yeah, I've seen those.
throughout
Yeah.
the rooms.
Yeah.
But we never got to work.
Yeah, I don't know. It would definitely be cool, like having a nice sound system, like subwoofers, like you got your like dedicated bass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like truly immersive.
Yeah.
Yeah. What kind of music would you play on it?
I feel like you already know the answer to that.
Just flat ED.
I don't know, because my cousin, he lives in Cyprus and he kind of has like a pretty good speaker system and it just sounds really nice.
What do you think that the damage can be on like a whole surround sound?
Easily gets up there depending on how much you want to spend. Like I think that there's good price points, like different speakers at good price points. But like if you want to splurge, you
like
can.
like what would be a number where you're like that's definitely top tier?
I think you can get like a very solid, like not highest end but top end, like 15,000
15,000?
Yeah, but that's
You-
like
only 15,000.
I was only thinking like a few thousand.
Oh wow.
we're
Okay.
on 3 different.
Okay, because a really nice house is like into the millions. A really nice like watch can be like into the hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, but I do think there's a curve, right? Like the amount of money you spend, it caps out at some point in
Yeah.
terms of like
Probably.
you can go higher, but like it's marginal. Like your ears, it's like one of those things, you know, like how like people like talk about like why'd you get a 144 hertz monitor? Like the human eye can only see like 26 frames per second. It's like one of those. Like, can your ear really hear better than this quality? But no, I think it's something like that. Would you ever go like the full like purist route, like where people get like the vinyls and then they have like legit sound setups where they'll like have like their vinyl plugs in everything?
I don't know if I go to that extent, but maybe one day I'd get like a, what's it called? Like a, what do you play vinyls on?
Oh, like a record player?
Vinyl
Yeah.
player.
Yeah, vinyl player.
Imagine, do they put EDM music on vinyls?
I'm positive you could find.
That would be insane. That would be kind of deranged. Yeah, you plug in like a vinyl onto the vinyl player, and you like put that whatever
The needle?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
needle on it, and suddenly it's just like Swedish House Mafia.
What I'm imagining is like whenever I see people like have those things, I imagine it's like they come home and they're like pristine house. They like put their stuff up and then they come to like their music compartment. They'll like put gloves on, pick out a disc, put it down. They'll like get their cup of tea. They'll put the needle down on the disc. It's just like Millennium. But that'd be cool. Yeah. A sound setup. That's cool.
Yeah, no, that would be nice. Yeah, there's just so many nice things in the world, honestly.
I feel like I don't have the like the need for nice things though. Like the
Yet.
or like I don't know. To this point in time, like I've had people call me out on it. It's like you don't buy things for yourself. Like the most I've ever splurged on anything was my PC, and that's like something I considered an investment because I use it so frequently.
Yeah, that's some boy math there. But how much was your PC then? More or less than $5,000.
Less.
Less? Okay.
My full setup probably cost like around that, like table, monitors,
Okay.
peripherals plus PC.
Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, yeah, splurge would be like a gaming chair, which can easily be like 500.
Or maybe in like a Herman Miller era.
Oh, Herman Miller would be crazy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Ruth and I were just talking about like maybe getting a Roomba. Because we have so many pets.
It's a good investment.
Yeah, because there's so many pets, but a Roomba, a nice Roomba, can
They're
easily be
expensive.
like $800.
But I think it's worth it.
Yeah, so we're Googling, right? We're
Uh-huh.
we're like going to Reddit to see like all the reviews because it's real people. The first video is just like a Roomba going outside the front door.
Okay, fair enough. No, but yeah, Roombas are cool. I'm scared to like put a Roomba in this house because there's so many stairs. I know they're supposed to have edge detection.
You have to trust the technology. I feel dumb saying that.
I just don't like. I also don't know what like I have like a Roomba somewhere, but I don't know what technology it has in it. So like I just like imagine I like set it up and like I go upstairs, just see it like at the bottom of the stairs, like all of its parts disassembled.
Yeah.
But interesting.
Yeah. So Hiro, yeah, sounds like you like music. I guess any other form of media that you consume a lot?
Other than football.
Shows.
You like TV shows?
If I have the time to watch, yeah.
You're not like a big movie nut?
I wouldn't say I'm a nut, but I've definitely seen a lot of movies. But I guess if you're like asking about like genre, probably I was really into horror for a long time.
What does that say about a person?
To like horror?
Yeah, to like horror movies.
I think. Well, okay, wait. To like horror movies, or for them to be your favorite kind of movie? Because I think there's a difference.
What is the same?
You can enjoy horror movies, but like
Oh no, yeah, no, I appreciate a good horror movie.
Yeah.
But if you say it's your favorite genre, and you watch
Yeah.
a lot of it, what does that say?
means you want to feel something.
Really?
I would say so, actually.
Oh,
It's
man.
like we're all climbers here. We all know about Alex Honnold.
Oh,
You know, like they like found that like he doesn't have fear. Like that's the reason he like goes and like free solos and stuff. Maybe it's like that. Maybe that's why Hiro's so good at climbing. He's never scared of injuring himself, which I mean doesn't happen frequently, right, Hiro?
Yeah, he trusts himself. Yeah. Okay, horror. So what in that same vein of thought, if someone's favorite genre was comedy, does it mean they're sad? They just want to feel happy?
I feel like that's a little different because you couldn't, and there's like nuances to comedy that you can enjoy, right?
That's true.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think a similar vein would be like romance. Like, you want to be.
Oh, yeah. You want romance, so you watch it.
Yeah.
What's your favorite genre?
I think probably. I feel like I watch movies mainly for like thrillers, like not necessarily like full horrors, but like
Some mystery?
yeah, some mystery, some problem to figure out, and like I love twists, stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. I do like a good plot
Yeah.
twist. Yeah.
I mean, that's why I like a lot of Nolan's films because they typically all have like that sort of subplot, and then like if there's good action in it too, that doesn't hurt, you know.
Yeah.
Have you watched anything recently?
In theaters or just like in general?
In general.
I feel like I'll like start something and I'll finish it just to finish it, even if I don't enjoy it. I don't know. Recently, what have I enjoyed? I don't think nothing I've watched recently has really stood out to me. I was like, wow, that was amazing. I really liked Oppenheimer.
Dude, I finally managed to stream Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been like checking every weekend to see if like a copy was available online.
What did you think about it?
It's good.
Yeah.
I didn't expect anything bad.
Should have watched it in the theaters.
As I was watching the movie, there was a joke that was going around when it first came out.
Uh-huh.
People kept saying there was like a 15-minute foreplay scene.
Yeah. And you thought it was a joke?
Yeah. So the whole movie, I'm just like, where is this 15 minutes?
You know the movie got banned in India
Why?
because of that scene where they were talking about the Gita
Where was that in the movie?
during the sex scene.
What?
With
Sorry, I
Florence.
wasn't paying attention to any of the words.
But it's like they were like in that scene and they were talking about like Hindu like religious
Oh,
texts.
yeah, you're right. Yes, yeah. Which is where his like famous phrase is from, his famous quote.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he took it from the Gita.
Oh. Why? Why does that have to be banned?
Because they thought it was like sacrilegious to like show like
Is it like the version of the Bible?
it's one of our like three holy Christian, like we have a couple holy scriptures. It's one of them.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Gotcha. Okay. I see. So they're a little sensitive about that.
yeah.
Okay.
One of the things I did want to talk about, and I know you said you were introspective earlier, and this is something we talked about even yesterday. The idea of a head voice. I feel like this is like something that like sporadically comes in waves. I feel like a lot of people start talking about it like, wow, that's crazy, and then they'll just like stop talking about it. But I guess what people describe it as is like an inner monologue, an idea that you have like a narrator in your head.
Is it third person?
No, so it's like it's understood that like the guy in my head, right? He has like the same consciousness as me, and he has the same voice as me, and like when I think things, it's him saying it in my head. So it's not like he's like a fully different person, but like by hearing my thoughts in my head, I can have a conversation. Does that make sense?
Not really. It sounds like what a crazy person would say.
So like, how do you think through things?
I visualize everything in my head.
What does that visualization mean? Like, are you making like a?
It's almost always kind of.
Okay, before we go there, then I have another question, and this will be a question to you too, Hiro. I know like when you're kids, like you're taught about like, like, oh, you're like an like someone who learns by like reading, you're a visual learner, or
Right.
you learn by hearing, or you need to like learn by being hands-on. Like I think the third one is a cop-out because like hands-on learning is just encompassing both auditory and visual learning. So I like sort of discount that. But if you had to choose between like hearing something or seeing something, what makes you comprehend or like remember things for longer?
I think seeing things.
For you?
I really don't know, but I would probably say visual. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I don't understand auditory learners because I recently started listening to like audiobooks,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like night and day how like different it is for me in terms of like comprehending things. One of the biggest things for me is like not being able to see like names written down. Like names don't stick in my head.
Yeah, I imagine.
Like
I've never tried audiobooks.
yeah, I mean it's interesting for getting information from, but like in terms of long-term comprehension, I think it's like pretty abysmal for me. And I attribute that to the fact that like if I am hearing something,
Mm-hmm.
the person like what I use to like learn things is like my head voice or my inner monologue isn't able to repeat it, right? Like whereas I read things, I'm like reading it and I'm hearing it in my head. So I'm like putting them both together. Whereas if I just am hearing it, I'm not able to like put anything with anything else. That's how I understand my inner monologue and how I see its use. So would you agree?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, hear about that. Yeah, I'd probably agree, but I just never thought of that before. It's interesting.
So both of you guys utilize your head voice.
I'd say so.
Well, I think it kind of just depends if you have it or not.
Yeah.
Right? Because some people don't have it.
Yeah, some people they say that they can just like make their thoughts go empty.
Yeah. My head goes blank.
That's crazy. Like
Yeah.
the concept, like people always make the joke like head empty.
Yeah.
Like like that's never made sense to me. I was like, what
You've
do you
never been able to like just not think about anything?
Yeah.
No,
Or like
yeah.
blank out.
Pretty much never. I'm like either always like thinking about like I always have some sort of like stream of consciousness in my head.
Oh.
And it gets bad cuz like it's definitely not healthy. I think it leads to overthinking as well.
Have you ever like tried like really just not?
I did meditate, but like meditation's a little bit different. So like meditation is like this concept where you're supposed to let like the stream of consciousness come in and you're supposed to like dismiss it. You're supposed to like be able to swap thoughts very quickly. And that's like one form of meditation. I did that for a while. I think I still do it occasionally just as a way to clear my thoughts, but it's not like I hear silence. You know what I mean? It just like helps me organize my thoughts when things get crazy.
Interesting. Because I feel like my voice is like definitely going on like most of the day.
Uh-huh.
But if I like wanted to, I guess like going to sleep because back in college I used to be on the rowing team, and so we would have to like wake up like at 4 or 5 a.m. for practice, and so like I would have to sleep by like 10 to get enough hours, and so I had roommates that would like game throughout the night. And it was really hard to like go to sleep for me because I have to like not hear anything.
Yeah.
But I was able to kind of like teach myself to just not think about stuff, and I would just pass out. Because when I'm thinking about things, usually it's harder to like go to sleep.
Yeah. No, I completely get that. Because like when you hear something, you keep repeating it
Yeah.
in your head. So it's like you're like holding on to like whatever you're hearing. Yeah. That makes sense.
But I guess for like short moments of time, I'm able to like just not think about stuff.
Okay. Yeah, possible. But having had no head voice. So like what is that? Like when you say you're like not thinking of anything, it's just like you could just be like staring at a wall.
Yeah. My eyes glaze over. So it happens a lot while I'm working out too.
Really?
Yeah, which is why some people describe like when they catch themselves again, they realize they've been staring at someone.
Yeah.
Do you lose track of time?
I mean, I don't keep track of it all the time anyway.
Are you time blind?
Maybe.
Have you seen that where people like claim time blindness as like a disability?
No. What's that?
They're like, I don't know, like they
They don't know how to read the clock.
no, they're like apparently like they're like they say they're clinically unable to keep track of time in terms of like you could be sitting on this couch, right? And you'd be like, okay,
You could like estimate like it's
yeah,
been 5 minutes
10
or
minutes
something.
will probably
okay.
pass. But like people will like chronically show up late to things because they say have like time blindness.
I think I'm slightly time blind.
Really?
You know, I'm not keeping track in my head how much time has passed.
That's interesting because I when I think of you as like a pretty punctual person.
That's because I know how to read the clock, man.
But that's like against, like you have some sort of thing in your head that says I have to do this at this time.
Oh, I mean, that's
So-
just being disciplined. It has nothing to do with like. But if you ask me to like sit somewhere and estimate how much time has passed,
No, I think that's different. Like if I deprived you of like all senses and I stuck you in a room, I don't think anybody would be able to tell me how much time has passed.
yeah,
I feel like that could be a thing though, just
Yeah.
because like what I've learned in like my neuro classes, like I'm sure there's some part of the brain that controls that aspect, and
Yeah.
if they had damage to it or something, then they just couldn't do it.
That's crazy. That's scary.
yeah. It's I think it's nice to just blank out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you know how long? Like, what's the longest period that's happened?
that you blank. Maybe like at most a minute.
Oh.
It's not too long.
So it's
Okay.
not like hours.
I'm just imagining you like sitting on your
you'd
couch.
be brain dead if you were if you had no thoughts for hours. Yeah, but it does get dormant. It's always when you're doing some kind of physical activity, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. All right. Well,
Ooh, one thing that we forgot to touch on. Normally we ask it as our first question, but what drives you these days, Hiro? Like what motivates you? What keeps you interested?
What
Keeps you going.
drives me?
Yeah.
I mean, school takes up a lot of my time, so I guess my priority is just passing my classes.
ooh, wrong answer. You should have said your love for Vanessa.
Dang.
Okay. Yeah, that's what you should have said, Hiro.
Yeah.
No, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I think that happens when you're in school. You have like it's interesting because you have something to complete. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like in the workforce, you like you go work for a company and there's like no end. Even when like you're at an internship, you're like, okay, I know like come August, like I'm done with this. I'm going back to school. But then like when you enter a job, you're like, there's no end.
Oh yeah, you could be there for decades.
You don't know, right?
Yeah.
But like working when you see ends in sight, I think it definitely helps you orient your goals. So I think it's interesting, like the variance in answers we get to this
No,
question.
it's very structured.
Yeah.
Like it's very clear where you need to be and what you have to do to get there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting. But you still think you have like time for your passions and hobbies and find interest
Depends
in them?
on like the point in the semester.
Yeah, fair.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I would say so.
That's good. And do you think your like focus on your hobbies is as strong as you'd like? Like, do you think you wish you were doing more for them, or like they're at a good place where they are?
Probably not, just because school does take up more
Mm.
time, and yeah, you have to devote like some time to school. So
Fair.
Okay. I was thinking of the closing segment for Hiro,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to call it Hiro, help me understand. And it's essentially like an advice column
Okay.
where we ask Hiro some of the most profound questions, and maybe his life experience and his sage knowledge of life can help us understand what the right answer is. Yeah.
I think before we dive into this topic, another question I wanted to ask. So, do you think when people go to you, Hiro, do you think you tend to offer advice, or do you try to like console them and like work them through their problems?
definitely just giving advice. I feel like I'm a very practical person. So
Would you say you're a good advice giver? Like if someone tells you a problem and how they resolved it, is your first thought usually like, man, you should have come to me. I would have given you great advice on how to handle it.
I feel like it really depends on like the context,
Hmm.
if I've experienced it before or not.
What about you, Paul? What do you do? And
I usually avoid trying to give advice.
You avoid trying to give advice.
Yeah, I don't want to be responsible for the outcome. But
you
if
ever
we're
been
if we're
this-
brainstorming, man, I have some great
You'll
ideas.
you'll draft some ideas.
Yeah,
As we
like-
know by us showing up to Hiro's house at 5 in the morning.
Yeah, man. But yeah, I can give some great ideas, but whether or not it's good, if it's a good idea, it's really up to like your perception.
I can just imagine you're basically doing the equivalent of what people do on Wall Street bets, where they give the most horrible advice, and then you have your little disclaimer. By the way, this is not financial
Yeah,
advice.
It's like, guys, hear me out. I thought of something profound. Like, this could work, right?
Okay, fair enough.
All right. So, Hiro, help me understand. I guess I could start off with something pretty straightforward. Maybe something that everyone can relate to. Hiro, how many dates should a couple go out before making it official? Or I guess in true advice column form, if I'm a guy, Hiro, how many times should I go on a date with this girl before I ask her out officially?
Have you known them before in the past?
No, just consider
Just
like
it's a stranger.
yeah, like yeah,
Before making it official?
yeah, like before officially asking her, hey, can you be my girlfriend?
Maybe like 3 to 5. I feel like it kind of ranges though. Like it would depend on.
So no more before 3, and
None less than 3.
none less
No
than
more
3.
than 5.
No more than 5.
Does that mean like 5 is like the drop dead date? It's like if you don't know by then.
Yeah, then it's really not going to happen for you, buddy.
Because I feel like you can really get to know a person like after, well, I guess.
Well, give it to me in terms of time and date.
Before
Number
you
of dates.
before you finish that thought, interesting. So like to really know a person, do you think that you can know a person too well to start dating them? To the point where they're like too much of a friend? Like, have you ever seen the concept where people are like, oh, like we talked too much?
Oh, and now I only see you as a friend.
Yeah.
I could probably, I would say, yeah, that could happen.
Okay. So you can overstay your welcome and become a friend. Okay, so 3 to 5 dates over the course of like what? A date a week, assuming?
Yeah, maybe like after a couple months, I feel like
A couple months?
That's the same thing. 3 to 5, that's
Yeah.
2 months.
it just
3 to
depends
5
on.
is 1 month.
No, well, it depends how often you see them.
Yeah.
Right?
Like if it's a date a week, I guess.
I mean, 2 months would be like a date every 2 weeks. You're barely seeing them.
Okay, semantic.
Couple months.
Couple
A
months.
couple months.
Yeah.
That's the appropriate amount of time before you officially ask someone to be your girlfriend.
I feel like we're deviating from the intent of this, which was for Hiro to give advice, and
Yeah.
now we're drilling
Oh,
specifically
no.
into this.
I'm sorry. I just really want to know. I want to make sure I don't mess up.
No, okay, because like obviously there can be like different situations, right?
Yeah.
But
I have one more, but
Oh.
Michelle, you can go next if you want.
okay, let's see. I'm just like the way in my head I'm phrasing this segment is like like reading like r/ like am I?
Oh.
It's just like me M 24 and my girlfriend F 23.
And we've been dating 3 years, 2 months,
Am I the asshole? Question mark.
5 inches.
Let's see. Okay, Hiro, help me understand. I went climbing a lot and I hit my cap. I'm a solid V4 climber. Maybe I can climb a V5 or a V6 sometimes. But I'm stuck. What should I do?
You're stuck. I guess it depends on what's limiting you. Is it like strength or technique?
I don't know. I just can't get better.
Yeah. Which one should he focus on?
V4, V5?
Uh-huh. He's like, I remember when I was there.
Probably strength.
Strength.
It's a strength issue, huh? Yeah. Yeah, probably by V4 you know most of the techniques.
But then I think it like alternates pretty frequently, right? Like you'll hit a strength cap and then there'll be a technique cap for your strength, right? Because like otherwise anyone that's jacked should like theoretically be able to climb a V11s, right? Not jacked in the sense of like a traditional bodybuilder, but anyone who like religiously works out.
Well, no, they have
Wouldn't
to.
they need finger
Yeah, they would
strength?
have to work out intentionally.
Yeah, I mean intentionally working
Okay.
out.
Yeah, then they should be able
You
to.
don't think there's any technique gap between like a 7 and an 8 or an 8 and a 9 or a 9 and a 10
I think it's mostly strength.
or like comp climbing? Because like what happens when you get to like dynamic moves? Like I feel like that's not strength.
It could be strength. You need to catch yourself and hold yourself there.
But you can also like shoot better.
I mean,
Depends on your hand-eye coordination, I guess.
yeah.
There.
Hiro has spoken. Hiro has helped you understand.
The column has spoken.
Yeah, the column has spoken. All right. My second and last one.
Yeah.
Hiro, help me understand. In the 2007 movie Spider-Man 3,
Okay.
Sam Raimi, he put in a scene where, Spider-Man becomes evil because this alien substance comes down, turns his suit black, and Spider-Man becomes more agitated, more angry, less of a good person.
Colloquially known as Bully Maguire.
Yes. So there's a scene where after he becomes evil Spider-Man, when he answers the phone, he says shalom. What did Sam Raimi mean by this?
Do I remember this part of the movie?
He says shalom. When did you watch this movie?
It's been a while.
Are you positive he says shalom? I don't think that's real.
I would assume he's saying hello.
Yes, but why did he say it like that?
Oh, why did he say shalom?
Yeah, after he turns evil.
Are you positive he said that, Paul?
I might have to check.
I think you're trying to incriminate your own saying something.
I don't know, man.
The
can
column
only-
has spoken.
Yeah, the column has spoken.
Oh. All right. Interesting segment.
Yeah. All right.
How'd you even think of that?
Dude, his drives are dangerous. Like, you when he speeds, it's not because he's like really intent and focusing on the road. He just like zones out.
But like, did you watch Spider-Man recently, or like you saw something?
No,
How do you
this
even
was
remember
a
that?
thread I read like 4 or 5 years ago.
What?
You're for sure on like the worst part of Reddit. And you just see a bunch of people in the comments going, he's racing.
I could have sworn I saw a clip of the scene too. Maybe. Anyway, yeah. Thanks so much for joining us today, Hiro.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
As any closing remarks, do you have any?
Yeah.
No, I mean, thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
It was fun.
What's it like sharing more about yourself, through the form of a podcast?
Did you think it was like going to be like this?
Yeah, was it more awkward or more comfortable than you thought it would be?
I thought it was fine. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's good.
that's
We
great.
strive for fine here, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, fine is actually top of the scale.
Yeah. With the way that Paul leaves people feeling, fine is the upper echelon.
It's devastated the
Yeah,
bottom.
it's like it goes like fine, embarrassed, never will show their face again. Yeah,
Yeah,
devastated.
like friendship is over.
It's like a 50-50.
All right. Well,
All right.
yeah, again, we love receiving the fan mail, so please keep it coming. It's been great getting the DMs. I'm not single, but Vishal is. So.
Come on, man. All right. And side note, we'll be circulating this to all Heroes PT friends, all right? So
Yeah, we definitely should.
we're gonna spike our viewership for sure.